Almost for my wall. Hi guys. So in this video we are actually going to plan our trip. How I actually plan my trip is how I do it step by step, and I'm going to show you how I do it. You can like learn how to plan your own trips instead of going to a travel agency and ask like, hey, I want to go there, can you fix it for me? Because that is expensive depending on where you live. In Belgium it's not that expensive. I think you pay per consultation per person that's going to fly. For example, if I go with 2 people or 3 people, let's say 3 people, then I have to pay per person 20 euros. So actually in total 60 euros, so that the person that's sitting there behind the desk, that they get something. It depends on where you are going. Some places it's more expensive than other places, but the place that I know where I have worked for is 20 euros per person. So that's actually quite okay. It's getting expensive when you are going with 10 people, so that's 200 euros, and that's quite expensive, but for me it's quite okay. So what I actually do is, when do I want to travel? Mostly I can choose when I am going to travel, but for you guys, I don't know if you're studying or if you are working. First ask your job when you can travel, and when you know the dates, for example, you can take 2 weeks off, then you can check where you want to go for the 2 weeks. Because I'm going like 19 days to the States. I wanted to go to California for my 4th time, but I'm maybe going to change that to going to New York, because that's my first time going there. So when you know when you're going, try to plan your most important things like your passport, your visa. When you go to the States from Europe, you need to have a visa, and the most important thing is that you have like a visa card to like pay money from a ATM machine, or bring as much cash as you can, but that's quite dangerous. So take a credit card or a visa card with you, so you are safe and no one is going to rob you. So when you know when you are going to go, I am going, for example, in September to 3 weeks, but 19 days, it's almost equivalent to 3 weeks. So that's what I already know. The most important thing is I don't book my airplane ticket immediately. I actually book that like 1 or 2 weeks before I am going to go. That's quite tricky sometimes, because one time I checked 1 month before and my plane ticket from last year in May was around 1,000 euros, and I was like, wait, what? And I had enough money to pay it actually, but I waited 2 more weeks. So 2 weeks before I had to go to the States, my plane ticket dropped with almost 60%. I only had to pay like 400, and it was a retour, so going and going back home. So I was like, wow. I checked online, some people, they book their flights like 3 days in advance before they are leaving, 7 days in advance, and I was like 2 weeks, 14 days. What I also do is, where are we going to stay? When you're alone, you're paying a solo, how you say it, because you're only sleeping in a room for 1 person, you have to pay a little more than when you are with 2 people. So now I'm traveling with 2 people, and yeah, we have to discuss it together, where we are wanting to go and how much we are wanting to spend the 18 days. Do we want to stay at one and the same hotel? Do we want to stay at 2 hotels? Do we want to stay in 3 hotels? It depends on your budget, how much you want to spend. And mostly if I know, for example, if I will have 2 accommodations, I write down the price in total. For example, what I wrote here was one of my accommodations for 10 days for 2 people was $80 per room. So it's $800. And for the other 9 days, it was more of a luxurious hotel, and that was a bit more. It was 1,600, so like almost double, but we had breakfast. So in total it will be, my math is so bad, 1,600 plus 800, so that's $2,400 for 19 days. So if I would divide that by 19 days, it's 130 per day, 130, and divide that by 2 people. It's $65 per person per night, and that's actually quite nice. 65 for one person in New York, it's quite okay, the price, but it depends on you how much you want to spend, like I said. The next thing that I am actually wondering is what your transportation is. Do you want to take a cab? Do you want to take Uber? Do you want to take Lyft? Do you want to take the subway, or you want to walk? It is all up to you, but you have to know how much you are going to pay for those things. Now we are going to New York, like I said, and if you want to go to New York, you know it's crowded, and it's best you like take the subway or go on foot or take a bike if you know how to be safe. If you want to take a cab, you have to know you're gonna pay the price for it. If you're gonna take Uber, you know the price from the beginning. If you take the metro, you know from the machine how much it costs per ride. And I think that's the cheapest alternative. So that's it actually for transportation. Also transportation, how you're gonna go from home to the airport. Is your family going to bring you? Are you going by yourself? Are you going by the train? That's also kind of a transportation. Also about food and drinks, it's best you talk with the person that you're going to travel with where they want to go eat and what they want to eat, because in New York City you have a lot of things to eat, and if I don't gain the weight there, I don't know. But yeah, there are a lot of things to do in New York City, and it's always nice to have like a little plan that you can like say, oh no, I don't want to go there, I want to go there. Then you know where you can eat for breakfast if your hotel doesn't have that in their price. Lunch, evening food, like dinner. It's always nice to know how much you are going to spend. For me, for example, I want to spend per day around $50 for food, and that will be around in total almost 2,000 euros. Oh no, that's for 2 people. Oh, oh, that's $950 for food. But I know myself, I will want to buy some coffee or chai latte, so I guess I will like bring the price a little up, maybe 1,200, 300, to be sure that I have food. But also if you want to go to the groceries, you can, for example, it's sometimes also, no, it is actually cheaper in some places to buy your groceries in advance. For example, we have a bread culture. We like to eat bread, but we can also eat cereal, muesli, oatmeal, those kinds of things that you can buy and eat in your hotel, and so you can like bring down the expenses if you are there. Also, the important thing is your money. You need to know how much you are actually wanting to spend. What I do is I don't have a price in my head. Mostly I calculate how much. For example, I check the prices on a incognito mode, so they don't know what you're searching for. And for example, if I want to travel, my ticket will be around 500, 600 in economy. and then I write down how much I want to spend for food, how much I want to spend on my accommodation, how much I want to spend on transportation, and all those things. And then I have a price how much I want to spend in total. Now it's like a 2,500 that I want to save in total, but I want to bring it a little higher, like 3,000, 4,000 euros to save, so I have extras to buy. And for example, I want to buy gifts for my friend, I want to bring it back to Belgium. And then I also have a little list of what to bring, because sometimes I forget to bring my phone plug and then I cannot charge my phone. And I also have like a special thing, like we in Belgium, we have different outlets. We have this, and in the States they have different things. They have like the flat electricity thingy-bobbers, but we have the round ones. And it's easy because I can use this in Australia, in China, in the States, everywhere I go. That's actually the most thing. Really download a what to bring in my suitcase, because I never travel with a big suitcase. I only travel with a carry-on luggage and a backpack. And that's actually quite nice, because if I would bring my suitcase, I one time had it, they lost my suitcase, and luckily I packed some clothes in my carry-on and my backpack. I lost my suitcase for 3 days, so if I didn't plan this in advance, I would not have had clothes. And then as the last thing, if the time is there, you will buy your plane ticket and like 2 weeks in advance, and then yeah, a week, 3 days, 2 days in advance, you start packing your luggage and your backpack, and take the most essential things that you need. For example, I always bring my laptop, my camera, my headset, and of course my phone, because that's the most important thing. And yeah, those are the little things that I actually do to plan my travels. I know it's not perfect. I am still learning. I am a person that likes to learn when I'm doing it myself, and well, everyone has those ups and downs, and that's quite normal. But this is how I plan my travels, and I never had problems with this, and it's actually quite nice. But yeah, this is how I actually plan my travels, and I actually like the method that I'm using, and maybe you guys can use it as well. And maybe next year I will make an updated version of how I plan my travels. I don't know, we shall see. Sorry guys, my camera just had no battery anymore, so I don't know where I was or what I was saying. Like I said, the last thing that I do is plan my ticket like 2 weeks, a week in advance, or a few days in advance, and then you will have the lowest price to buy your ticket instead of like a month before, because those are quite high. And when you like go closer to leave to your destination, mostly the companies bring down their prices like a big amount, like more than 50%, and they don't want to have an empty airplane, so they are like discounting their flights so you can like buy them, and it's much cheaper. So just wait, and always look on a internet browser that has the incognito mode, so they don't track your searches, because if they see that you're always looking for New York or California or Australia, they can see and they will bring up their prices, and then you will have the most expensive price that you are going to find on the internet. But yeah guys, that's how I actually plan my trips to the States or wherever. Maybe next year I am going to the Philippines. It's been 20 years since I've seen my family, so I think it's time to actually visit my family in the Philippines, and I think they will like it when I'm going to visit them in the Philippines after almost 20 years. So guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!